So let's get started. So today I'm going to explain the deduplication asset in the data quality services in Informatica cloud version. So all you need to do is to go into the login to your account and select the data quality services, in which you will come to this page. Not in this page, you will come to this page, and here you need to select the asset you want to create. If you want to create the rule specification dictionary, there are 7 different assets. For dictionary, you can say that it's not an asset, it's just a reference table which can be used with any asset. Like rule specification, for reference table you can use dictionary. It goes with all the other assets. For deduplication, we use dictionary as well. So I'll guide you. First, start with deduplication. Click on this, you will come to this page only. Here we will have 3 different tabs for deduplications: definition part, deduplication part, and consolidation part, right? So in the definition part, we are going to give the name of our deduplication asset. It should be clear that what is the task of this asset. You give it a very clear name, otherwise you will get confused while picking up in the mapping. In the description, you give the proper description why you have created this deduplication asset and where you are going to use it. So if sometimes it gets confusing, and I'm telling you with my experience only, sometimes it gets confusing. So make sure that you give it a proper description, and in the location you have created multiple projects or multiple inside the projects multiple folders. So where you want to have this deduplication asset, you need to go into the browse, and here all the projects are there. Inside any other project you can put this dictionary into. So I have created a document as well. Here it is. So this is nothing but I have copied it from the Informatica website as itself. It's just very formal types of definitions, you can go through it, but I have written some in very common language so you can understand it well. So I'll have a little bit of theoretical part. First, you can skip it. If you want to directly jump into the practical part, you can directly skip through these sections and you can go into the practical part. But I'll give you a brief idea about why we need this deduplication asset. First, it eliminates the duplicate records. As you know that in many big companies like Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, or any big company, you know that they have customers, they have sellers, they have vendors, this type of things they have. So how they store the data? They store the data in the database, in the relational database only, like in the row and column format. So sometimes what happens, they have the duplicate records by accident, or maybe one person create the record twice. Maybe first time what happens, sometimes the internet does not respond, but at the back end, when you're creating a record or when you are trying to sign up, you fill all the details in the sign up page, and then you click on the sign up and it hangs over there. So what you think is that it is not being created. So again you go and sign up once again. But what happens is sometimes it gets created in the back end and we have no idea about it. So we create one more record for that, and that creates a problem for big companies. Like they have duplicate records, it creates troubles. We will not go into deeper into that, but we'll just skim through it. So it improves the data quality. Obviously, if you remove all the duplicate records, it means that the record which we have a golden record. Golden record is nothing but it's a single source of truth for a given entity in your data. This is the last point. I have highlighted this, you can see. Okay. It saves storage and cost. Why it saves storage? If you remove all the duplicate record, obviously the storage it needs to store the data will automatically be reduced. So it will reduce the cost as well. If the storage reduces, maintenance reduces, and the cost will come down. Enhancing reporting accuracy. Yes, avoids double counting in analytics and dashboards. Okay, it's a fair point. Better customer experience. Avoid sending multiple mails, calls to the same customer. If you have one customer registered twice, maybe they have two different SIM cards and they have registered twice, and you are calling the same person two times on their both the numbers. If they have the same mobile and they have two SIM cards, one time you are calling on their first SIM card and again you are calling on their second SIM card giving the same offer, that will be a annoying experience, and that is why the companies want to remove the duplicate records as well. So supports master data management. This is some high level thing. It is MDM. When you work on MDM, you will come to know flexible strategies. Can choose row based or field based consolidation depending on business needs. Once we start doing the practical, you will see that we will have two different types of row based and field based consolidations. I'll show you this. So in one line you can say that we use the deduplication asset in IICS CDQ to detect and merge duplicate records so that we always work with clean, unique and trustworthy data. Okay, you can say that. In the interview, sometimes they ask, if you are going for interview, why deduplication asset has three types. See, I'll show you. Definition part, deduplication part and consolidation part. These are the three different assets you will have when you log into your, see, we have three different parts. So I'll explain everything one by one. So first come to the definition part. You have name, description, location, and then nothing else. So basically the metadata page, this tells the CDQ what this asset is and where it lives. It means that you are giving it a name and saving the description means what this asset is for, and you are giving the location as well where we need to store this asset. In the deduplication part, this is the main part where we configure our logic, how our deduplication asset will work and how fast it will be or how slow it will be, how the performance will be of our deduplication asset. This is we decide here. So what are all the points? This is the engine step where you decide how to detect duplicates. Say for example, we have two records for the same customer, John Smith. One is J Smith, second is John Smith. So for both the records, they have the same email address, they have the same mobile numbers, they have the same address, but in the name field, in the first name and in the second last name, you can say. So in the first name we have J dot and for the last name we have Smith, and for the second record we have in the first name John and in the last name Smith, full name. So Informatica will have some algorithms like fuzzy logic, exact match, fuzzy match. These are all the algorithms that Informatica uses behind the scene to match if the two records are equal or not. In the fuzzy match, I'll give you what happens in real time. So in the back end, they store the data. Two different customers they have stored, means Informatica have stored. And to identify whether the two records are duplicates or not, what it will do, it will have a register. Register is nothing but a memory location. It will locate. It will put the first record in the memory location, and where it will have count for each letter. For John Smith, J one time, Smith S one time, M one time, I one time, T one time, H one time, and this is how it will count all the letters in the first record. And for the second record, it will count all the letters in the second record and it will try to match. And if there is some, you will decide the threshold. If some 90% of the letters are matching, it means that it is a duplicate record. You can say that in real time it is how it works. If you want exact match, it means that letter by letter, space, special characters, dot, all the things has to be matching. So here in the deduplication, so we have seen match keys, field to compare, name, email, phone number, matching strategies like fuzzy match, exact match, phonetic match. These are some strategies. Clustering and basically duplicate finding brain. Okay, so clustering is nothing but it will it will give a unique cluster ID for the group of cluster. For the group of records, it will give a unique cluster ID for that records which it thinks, Informatica engine thinks that it is a duplicate record. For that it will give a unique cluster ID, and in the cluster size it will give you how many records, how many duplicate records the Informatica engine thinks there exist. So I'll give you a practical example for this. You will come to know. Okay. So in the consolidation part, after the applying all the logic, means how you want to identify that if the two records are duplicate or not. In the third part, in the consolidation part, here it is in the real time. So in the no consolidation, it will do nothing. In the row based consolidation, it will go row by row and compare the results. If the two records have that threshold percentage of letters matching, or if you have decided the exact match, like here most field, no, this is not, this consolidation part. Here in the deduplication, you will decide. If you go to the custom and if you go to the advanced option, here you will decide the deduplication threshold for that two records to identify if they are duplicate records or not. Okay, so what else in the consolidation? So row based, row by row it will go and check if the two records are exact or not, or fuzzy matching or not matching. Field based, it will go column by column. You will identify all those fields that needs to be compared in order to identify if the two records are duplicate or not. So we'll see each one by one, but let's see the document first. So consolidation, after duplicates are found, you need to merge or select the best record. It means that if you found out that these two records are duplicates, so you need to have one algorithm or something that decides which records to be survived and which records to be rejected. For John Smith, we have J. Smith, and another is John Smith, JHN, complete name. So you might have given some predefined rule that if for two records, if it is identified as duplicate records, after that it has to be the one record which will survive is the one in which more number of letters are there, more data is there, that records to be survived. Or you can say that the latest record, if two records are there, one is means some back date, some 1 year ago the same customer was there, and today also the same customer have created the account. So you may say that the latest record will survive. Maybe in the first record his marital status was single, and in the latest record, latest account that he has created, in which his marital status changes. So for that he can create a new account, and based on that you need to identify. Row based, field based, I have already told you. So one liner summary. Definition is where, again it is going to definition part. Definition is where you create the deduplication tab. Okay, Once you get into the deduplication tab, this is the deduplication tab. Okay, so here we are live on the website and this is our account. I have created this. So in the deduplication, same screenshot I have pasted in my notes for reference. If you want, you can come back to this in the PDF format and you can have a glance over it. So before the interviews, it can work very well. So objective, what kind of duplicates to search for duplicates person means you want to identify the goal of your asset. Why do you want to create this asset? In the objective, you can choose any asset. See, here we will have many objectives in which we can select one. For example, if we select contact, we'll have organization name, company name, person name. These all star marked, red star marked are the mandatory field. Address part 1. Based on these columns, it will decide if the records are duplicate or not. You can have family, in which person name, address part, telephone number. Based on these 3 columns, it will decide the duplicate record. So the objective is, you need to select the objective in order to select for your data set only. You will decide what is your objective. Individual, ID, date, person name. From person name you can identify if the records are duplicate or not. You have to select based on your data. Organization, you can select organization name, company name, address part, resident. So if you create based on address and person name, it will decide the duplicate records. Okay. Date local. Date local is nothing but the local date of all the records that belongs to that country or specific region. Maybe it belongs to India, maybe it belongs to USA, European Union, Europe, somewhere. For that they have their date and time standards. They can select their date, zone, time zone. Optional field. Optional field is nothing but it will add some extra fields according to your data set, and based on that the duplicate records. We will see this once we go on to the practical. We will see this. Filter exact duplicates. Here this field is there. If you click on this filter exact duplicates, what will happen? It will look for the same records. Means all the letters, all the special character spaces and everything needs to be the exact same, and it improves the performance as well. It does not have to apply all those backend algorithms. Simply take one record, compare it with rest all the records, identify if the records are same, exact same, put it in one cluster, count how many records such records are there, put it into the cluster size. That is how it works. So performance. So performance, you have 3 different types of performance: fast and least specific. So it will quickly do the comparison between all the records and it will be pretty much fast, and the depth of the analysis will not be very accurate. So if you want very accurate and complete analysis, you can go for slow and complete, but most of the time we go with the medium and fair result. It works very well. You can go with it. Sometimes if you go with slow and complete, it will do the analysis completely, but this result is also not very accurate. I have seen this. So this is all. And in the next part I will show you how this consolidation works, and I'll create a practical for that as well. So do we have anything else in the advanced option? Okay. So in the practical we will see that advanced option is nothing but this one. If you go into the deduplication, click on this custom, you will have this manual control over to identify how the data should be identified as duplicate records. You may have conservative, loose, typical, level of accuracy, level of confidence, key level, deduplication output, and the threshold. So we'll see how to create one. So in the definition, let's see, we want to create this asset to identify if the two person is same or not. So in the name I can say that deduplication underscore person identity, person deduplication, no, person identification. So here in this asset we are identifying the duplicate person records. Okay, browse, this location is okay. I will save it in the profiling task itself, no problem. So in the objective we want to create, we have doing the full screen. So contact deduplication we want to do. Index key, what is this index key? So this index key is nothing. See, so I have not explained the index key. So I'll give you a brief idea about what is this index key. Based on this index key, you will identify that the records are duplicate or not. For example, if you want to identify if the two records are based on the email address, person name, how you want to identify if the two records are duplicate. We may say that we want the, if their email address is same, then they are the duplicate records. It will become a mandatory field, and this index key you are going to use it in the mapping also. If you go, when we are going to create the mapping, I'll show you how this index key matters. So it enhances the performance as well. You might have heard about indexing in the databases, right? If you have heard about that, indexing gives the, it's like a index page in the books. You have this index page in order to, if in order to know where this record exists. For particular chapter, you know that this chapter exists on the page number, say for example 71 to 94. For that record, you have to go to that page only, and if you give the index key email address, it will store that email address in its memory, and it will start looking for that email address only. So it will improve the performance as well. Date local we will choose, no matter is there India, no, don't think, no, no, yes, India is there, so we'll choose the India. Optional fields, if you select optional fields, what will happen? Additional fields just pops up. We don't want these many fields to compare. This is just for demo, and I will leave all the additional fields unchecked. So field exact duplicates. So I will show the difference between the filter exact duplicates and what will happen if you check it and uncheck it. It's nothing but if you check it, it means that it will check for the duplicate records. You are getting it, no problem. Let's move ahead. Performance, let's do the medium and fair result. Okay, let's say this as it. Now we are going to create, these are the mandatory fields. Okay, we will only fill the mandatory fields and leave the all the other fields. Okay, so person name. So person name may be say address. Address, what do you say? Freedom fighter. Okay, email address. Email address, give something, some email address. Okay, give this email address and create the second record. Okay, this may take a little. Okay, leave it here. Okay. Uh, so this is how you are supposed to create some records in order to identify if they are duplicates or not. So okay, so let's test this, and for that we need to select a runtime environment. Let's test this. It takes a little while for Informatica to process the data. Why it takes a little longer? You know why? Because it takes, most of the time it takes for the connection, establishing the connection. Once the connection is established, it won't take much to process 5 or 6 records. It can, in the milliseconds it will process these many records. In real time you will have maybe hundreds of thousands of data, and it will process the data in the same time. So here we have got the result. Cluster ID 1, 2, 3. It has created the records in the 3 different clusters, in 2 different clusters, no, in 3. In the one and this record, so see, and this record, it has put into 1, 2, 4. This and this. Why? See, in the first means the matching of the letters. Okay, we'll try the custom ones. We'll go into the advanced option. Level of accuracy, how we want. We want conservative is very accurate. It does not work. Blue is typical. Let it be typical. Level of confidence, exhaustive, extreme, narrow, typical. Let it be typical. And let's change the D2. In real time you will have at least 90% of the threshold set, but here I am setting it to 85%. And now let's save it and test our. Yes, It's running. So for 85% of deduplication threshold, let's see how many cluster IDs are found. Either it is going to 2, 3 or 4, how many clusters it is going to divide the data into. So it has divided the data into 3 clusters. Okay. So this is how you do it. If you set the threshold to 100%, this means that it is going to check if the two records are exactly same or not. Let's see. See, for every record it has given unique ID. So there is some change in all the records. All the records are not same. If you look closely, you will see that all the records have some sorts of variations. So this is how you do the deduplication configuration. And in the consolidation, in the next video I'll show you how to create the consolidation. This video will go too long, so in the next video I'll show you. Okay. Hello everyone. So today we are going to see the next part, consolidation part. So till now we have completed the definition and deduplication part, and now today we are going to see the consolidation. So in the consolidation we have 3 different modes to consolidate our data. One is no consolidation, then we have row based consolidation, and third one is field based. So what are these? Let's start with the no consolidation. No consolidation will do nothing, but it will pass the data with some additional metadata. What is metadata? Metadata is nothing, but it will add some extra columns like cluster size and cluster ID. It will identify all the same duplicate items and put it in a cluster and count how many such records are there, and it will give that number of records in that particular cluster. See here. So this is the data set we have. In the cluster ID, if you run this test data, you will see it will identify all those duplicate records and it will give a separate ID for them, and based on the number of records that are identified as duplicates based on the strategy that we have decided, yes, for cluster ID 1 we have only one record in that, there is no duplicate. For cluster ID 3 we have 2 records in this, so there will be 2 cluster IDs number 3, and in the both we have same number of records. So we have seen till now this point, up to this point, and now how to make sure that which record will survive and which are all will not survive. This is what we do it in the consolidation part. No consolidation we have seen. So in row based consolidation we have 3 different strategies. One is most data, second is most field, and third one is model exact. So in the most data it will go row by row. It will pick one row and compare it with all the other rows, and based on the number of duplicate characters present in those 2 rows which it is comparing, so based on that it will identify based on the threshold like 90%, 95%. If 90% of the character matches, it will place them in the same cluster, and based on the more number of characters present in whichever record, that record will only survive. Okay. in the most field it will go column by column, and whichever record has most number of columns filled with data, that column will only survive in the model exact. So in the model exact is it is derived from the mode of the statistics, like how many common values are there, that only that record is the mode of that record. See, I have given an example. So in the person name we have John Smith, J. Smith, all the different name. It all seems like the same person, but there are some variations. In the email we have same email for all, and in the city we have 4 Delhi and 1 Mumbai, and company all work in the Informatica only. So if you go column by column, you will see in the person name John Smith with that specific characters JHN, SMITH. There are two such person there, and for J Smith we have two. Jonathan Smith is one. Tie between John Smith and J Smith means two John Smith we have and two J Smith. Then email address, if you see email address, all five are same. Delhi 4, one is Mumbai. Company all five same. Then how it will decide which record to survive? So John Smith or J Smith, because there is a tie. So final golden record, it may choose John Smith or J Smith. It all depends on the Informatica now. It will randomly choose. So it does not matter which record it choose, because everything is tie. So it might choose John Smith. If you run it 10 times, you will see different results. Okay. So row based we have seen. Now in the field based. So in the field based we have all the columns named here and strategy. Here you have to give the priority to each column. Like if you choose the longest, so in the organization name it will go and it will pick the, first of all it will identify the cluster, and in every cluster it will go by the strategy that you have given. For example, if we have 4 records are identified as the duplicates, then in the organization name it will go and choose whichever record has the longest number of characters, that record will be picked up. If you go in the person name, if you give the most frequent, so it will go in the person name column, and most frequently person name, whichever it is, it will pick that. In the ID, if you give maximum, so for 4 ties, if ID is 1, 5, 9 or 11, these are the 4 IDs, then it will, in the ID column it will pick 11 only, and based on all the strategies from all the column, it will pick the record based on that. Okay. So we will go with the row based only, and we will test with the most data. So whichever record has more number of characters present, that record only be picked. So let's see. So we have the result for cluster ID 1, 2, 7. Let's see one by one. In this we have only 1. In this we have 2. Which one is preferred record? Everything is same, so it does not matter which one it picks. In 4, So see here, if you see in the cluster ID 4, you will see we have two different person name, and the person name with the more number of characters only given the priority because we have chosen the most data. So this is how it works. So you get the idea, right? So we have saved this, and now let's create a mapping. So this is all in the consolidation part, and this is how we create the data quality, means data deduplication asset, and now we use this in the mapping. Okay, so how to create mapping? Here is the diagram which I have copy and pasted, taken the screenshot and pasted in the notes, so in the future you can have it for the reference. Okay, so if you want me, I can. So no, let's create one from the very beginning. We'll see everything step by step. Okay, so go here in the source, go pick the data, flat file source. I have created this data set for UT video only. Let's see the preview. Hmm. So this is the record that we have. Let's check. We can go with this record, or okay, let's go with this record only. And after that we need to pick our deduplication asset and place it after the source. Okay, so in the deduplication, all we need to do is to select our asset, incoming fields, let me check once. Okay, no worries, you will see. I will copy all these records and put it inside. Okay, so we'll fresh start. I have cleared all the target documents that I have created yesterday, and okay, so deduplication asset. Here when you click, you need to go into your project and dd underscore employees. This is what we have created, right? So in the incoming fields now we can have all the data that is coming from the source. These are all the 5 columns coming from the source field mapping. Okay, so we need to map it organization into organization name, company name will go to company name, person name. Now one important point that I want to highlight here. In the group key, this extra field generated during the runtime, during the field mapping. So in that, whatever we have given in the, I will open the data quality asset in the one motive. See, so index key, whatever the index key you give here, that index key you need to map it in the group key. This is how it works. This is how it will segregate the data, and you can map the email in the email field as well. Okay, so till now we have completed this. Now go to the output field. So output field we have these many records. You know that we have this input, all the fields like email address, it will be generated, it will prefix it with the out underscore, and it will generate this out email or address part 1. It survived, everything will be put with the out underscore prefix. So we will limit this, we will not let these many columns to pass to our target. Only the columns which are of our interest. Okay, so how we can do that? Using expression transformation. Expression transformation is used to do the field level, means row level transformations. Okay, so in the expression transformation we will go in the incoming fields, we have all those fields, but what we can do, we can limit how many fields that needs to pass to our target. Include. Okay, include named fields. So we have in the, which are all the records that we want to pass. We have two different field name. One is address part 1, another one is out address part 1. So which one we need to pass it through the expression transformation? We need to pass the out address part 1. Why? Because this is directly coming from the source, but we want the record that is coming from the deduplication that needs to be passed on. Here you can see one more, we have email. This is not what we want to pass. We want to pass the out underscore email that is coming from the deduplication asset. Okay, to it survived. Okay, we will see this if the row is survived or not. And organization name we want to pass, person name we want to pass, anything else. So how many columns we have selected? 2, 3. Cluster ID and cluster size we want to pass. In originally we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 columns. Do we have 4 columns? Address part 2 we do not have. Company name we want to pass. Cluster, okay, fine. This is all we want to pass, right? So these are the fields that are included. In the expression you go, you create an output port, or you can create an variable port as well, but directly let's go with the output port. Okay, output port. Here you can out records. Now configure. We want to pass all the records, all the columns that we have. So let's give it a true. True will do nothing, but it will be true for all the columns, and it will just pass it. Can we have a data preview? What error? Okay, target we need to select. And mapping we have not done. Mapping connection is not specified. An object is not specified. Okay, for complete mapping to be working, we need to select the target as well. So go in the target. Let's see the incoming field here. We can check it here as well. Okay. First select the target. We will create a new file at the runtime. and give it a name. Employee or data. Go to target fields, go to field mapping. There's nothing to do because we are creating at runtime, so we do not need to. So what is the problem coming? Name the rule has no selection or rename entries. Okay, so here is the problem. Name rule, this extra rule has been selected, so we need to delete this. Now it should work fine. So these type of problems come in real time also, and it creates problems. So you need to know. You will only know when you practice. Let's run and go to our. See here. Do we have anything? Flat file target. We have nothing. So here the data will come. Let's run. The data will be loaded. All the rows, 17 rows. Why 17 rows? Because it will add the duplicate records as well. Okay. Cluster ID, cluster size. Then we have all our usual column names. And then out survivor record. These are added by the Informatica. Okay. Okay. So now what we want to go into this, and we want to segregate the duplicate records separately and the unique records in the different targets. So we want two different targets. You can have three different targets, one for all the data, one for duplicate records, and one for unique records. But here I will create for unique records and duplicate records, and you can create one more. So what I will do, I will just copy and paste, drag and drop here. Okay. Now go in this target, but before that we need one router transformation. that will route the two different records. One is duplicate and another one is unique. So for creating separate path, we need a router transformation. Connect this. Go to router transformation. In the coming fields, all you have. Okay. Here we will create one only, and rest all we will put it to default. Okay. So configure this. Not simple. Let's go advanced. Define filter conditions. So this one is for duplicate records. So how do you know which one is duplicate? If the cluster size is more than one, if a record, if then it means that it has some duplicates, right? Cluster size 1 is the unique records. And in the default nothing, so we'll rename this also. Let's rename this is duplicate records. Duplicate. Let's write customers. So duplicate customers will go to target 1. Let's make it look good. Okay. So this is the complete mapping design. And now in the target, this is the duplicate records, right? So let's rename this target as duplicate. Duplicate records. And this is, no, this one is duplicate. This is duplicate record and this is unique. Why it is getting selected all the time? This one is unique. Okay, so we have unique record and we have duplicate record, two different targets. Configuration, let's go to the configuration. We are in the unique side. Everything is same. Everything is same. Field mapping. For the duplicate records as well. We have given the condition for duplicate records, rest all will go to the unique record, which are not duplicates, which have cluster size 1, it will go to unique and other will go to the duplicate record. So we'll see what we have in our folder already. We have all data, employees all data, and once we run this mapping, it will run two different, and we can rename the target field target, or in which we are in the unique records. So at the target we'll give the file name as unique. Object select, here we'll give unique records. Unique underscore records. And for this we will rename it as duplicate records. Right, so everything is set now, and now we are going to run the mapping. Let's save, check if it is valid, or if there is some problem. Okay, it's valid. Let's run it. So here we have one record only, not two more records will, it will just populate. Okay, mapping is done. 8 unique records, 9 duplicate records. Go to our folder and check duplicate records. So all has cluster size more than 1, it means all are duplicate. For unique records all have cluster size 1. This is what it is supposed to have. Let's see. Cluster size, all have cluster size 1. It means all are unique records. So this is how we do the deduplication in Informatica. So now you have fair idea about how to do it and how we do it in real time projects. This is how you are supposed to do. But in real time you might add some extra transformations, like before deduplication you might use cleanse, and you might want to use other transformations in between, but this is for deduplication only. So if you have any doubt you can ask me in the comment section, I will answer it. Okay.